just looking to keep things calm, especially down in that 12th place. They want to get out of this early drop into those later game rotations.
Falcons also pretty much dead center.
हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल गाइस। जो कोई वीडियो में नया आएगा टीम को डबल टैप करो, लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो गाइस, क्योंकि अभी हम लोग देख रहे हैं गाइस EWC गाइस। चलो टीम इंडिया को फुल्ली सपोर्ट करते हैं गाइस, बूम बम करते हैं, सपोर्ट टीम इंडिया गाइस। चलो
They have we mentioned 70 being the cutoff. They've already surpassed the halfway point. They still have a little bit more work, but let's face it, Falcons, if they can perform well in these back end of the 3 games, of our 6 today, they can absolutely qualify based off of day 1.
The thing that's very encouraging about the Falcons' performance right now that maybe isn't attributed to the other teams that sit around them is that they've done this through consistency, right? They haven't won a game yet. They have just been consistently getting into the top 5, right? And that is a great result for the Falcons to be able to have that spot available to them. The downside of what I've seen from them today is that there have been good rotations, good decisions being made.
Yes.
The mechanical execution of them has been subpar. Specifically, I think it's safe to say Ralph has had a couple of missteps, and I think Narvalo as well, obviously going down a lot earlier in the games than they would have liked to. You can attribute that to getting a little bit too bold on the scouting, maybe less of a mechanical issue, but I do think there are still a few wobbles here and there, and hopefully they can get themselves nice and steady, because it's working right now. The question is, will it work if they go to the finals, when you bring back those top 8 teams?
Yeah, and that's a question, right? And that's a question they're going to have to ask themselves when they do head into the finals. Obviously, the task at hand now is just top 8. And, well, speaking of one of those teams who's close to the bubble is Alpha 7 on your screen, a team that obviously is coming in with squash this time around, but regardless, the returning champions, the heroes of the Americas region who play so incredibly well. I would be, again, just like the Falcons narrative, it would be so weird not to see Alpha 7 representing themselves during the Smash Points group or finals just coming up next week. But for Alpha 7, they're still relatively healthy. I do feel like they have gotten punished at multiple moments, but for now, I'm not too worried about this game. I do start to get a bit worried. I don't think they are performing well. And you go back to Influence Rage during the group play, specifically their performance during day 1 group play for them. I felt they were coming in hot. I thought they looked great, but survival stage, nothing like their group play performance.
No, I mean, it does really change the dynamic, as I mentioned before, right? When you are taking out those top 8 teams in every single match, no matter which groups we're in, you're expecting there to be about 5, maybe 6 of those teams in the top 8 to be playing in the lobby, and removing those teams has really changed the dynamics here, and teams have taken advantage of that. And like you were highlighting there, some teams have had to eat mud on the flip side, right? Because you have to, for a team to do better, another team has to do worse, right? Swings and roundabouts.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Well, I will say Team Vision also another roster that surprised me being so far down. You go back to group play and they were performing incredibly well, having plenty of highlight moments. Were they in the top echelon? No, but Vision still a team that is struggling. Rectum Karya now in a fight against AXTMG and Silas, a guy who, again, is trying to create history for himself. He's already has a large history of performances and great moments throughout PUBG Mobile history. This tournament would complete the trifecta he's currently trying to get, so that's a big opening elimination for him. And for AXTMG, the struggles live on.
I think Reckon and Kai are looking weak this tournament in a way that couldn't be said, I think, for Alpha 7 or Falcons.
Sure.
They haven't really been in these positions to really take too much. They earned a couple of points on a few of the days, but obviously they're here in the survival stages, and I'm hoping that they can stand up. Like you said, with Silas having that PMGO victory, having that PMGC victory under the belt, adding that third, would be the first player in history to do so. But at the moment, they need to piece it back together, especially coming off of a weak season back in Europe, right? These guys only qualified because they had that extra qualification spot from winning PMG at the start of the year. So the fact that they're only here because of that earlier performance, it does add questions to this roster. And right now they're on 8th place. So they would, if things close down now, be going through. And I think I would be disappointed not to see them go through, but they do still have a long way to go. And when they're put back in the fold with the 8 teams already qualified, the same thing's true as what I said for the Falcons, right? there are those questions that just don't have an answer right now.
Alpha 7 in ruins. Currently, only team over in this location. Influence Rage skirting just to the north side for them. But getting quite contested towards the middle as we would expect. Regnum Karya being one of them. Dead center. Power as well. Haven't really done too much, but you wouldn't expect them to. They're center. They're happy where they're currently at. For Kinatrope, well, they've got people all around them. But again, same situation. Nobody really to fight at the moment. Potentially Nogsham Red Force a little bit later, who, mind you, have been very, very impressed with. Had a chance to speak with Benny yesterday. Super impressed with his mindset. He wants to be the best, and well, this tournament is one of the ways to prove it. Well, here we go, going south now. It does shift just a bit, which could benefit Yangon Galacticos, who could potentially stay over on the military side if they don't want to fully commit for the bridge rotate, but it also puts them at risk of getting gate kept by R8 Nogsham Red Force. That's one of the things they're going to have to consider.
A lot of teams now looking to make their move. A hard south shift forces teams to rotate at the same time. I'm seeing Fireflux moving into the hills to the south of Pachinki there. Nongshim Red Force actually regrouping to the compound that sits over that long hillside that borders the south edge of this circle where R8 currently take up occupation. Fireflux actually rotating away. Looks like they're going to try and push into the east side of that, and all of these teams from the north going to try and move on top of each other. It is intense game. It is Alpha 7 moving in this area. You've got Power as well, who are a little bit ahead of the curve, and Influence Rage actually the three-peat of the Americas teams. And when you only have one good team in the region,
right,
well, you know who you want to see get out of it.
Yeah, this is going to be weird because, like you said, you got all three Americas region teams, ironically, just right next to each other. You would, I guess, expect that with similar play styles, kind of similar mindsets, obviously from the same region, but it seems like they kind of do this invisible handshake. You go on your way, I'll go on my way, they'll go on their way, and we'll avoid each other for the time being. But as deeper as Influence Rate starts to go, closer and closer, they start to get in power.
Fireflux did actually turn around. They're now still in those hills, but it's Gamax, it's Yangon Galacticos who have now crossed the bridge as well on the south side of the circle, who are poking their noses in. You've also got Irina, who have sent a scout down south towards Nongshim Red Force, towards R8, but now Alpha 7 have actually cut off that retreat. On the north side, Aura, Influence Rage now clashing, trying to take position, and first blood for Lorazin.
Influence Rage, great shot. Sleepy from a distance, though, takes Low Boy all the way down to just a sliver of health. He's most likely going to be finished off relatively soon. I don't foresee him getting picked back up. Of course, the med kit pops, but still, Influence Rage's got to fight hard. They've, again, struggled so much throughout the survival stage so far across the first three maps. They need to hold their ground. Not to mention, Power also started to come in for a bit of a third party, and No Fear is gone.
A nice little flex out there from Al Haji, puts the stone in, gets the result he's looking for, adds a point to the tally. Pleased to see you. Power now actually going to put more pressure on. They're moving down, and Influence Rage playing with 4. They're locked into the building. They're surrounded by E-Arena and by Power now, who have pushed Easy actually very, very close to this situation. That was a bit too bold, and I think they've read into that. They will pull it back, fold it back into the rest of the team.
E-Arena being on the outskirts scares me, however, for Influence Rage. Such a talented roster. They have really proven themselves throughout not only their second day of group play, but also throughout the survival stages already. Having some high placings. Zone will shift once again. Alpha 7 very, very safe where they currently are. Influence Rate, same story. E-Arena Power around them. Intense game, though, might alleviate some of that pressure. They start the push in. Power encompassing their location. We get on board with the fight going down. IG versus Power. It will be, I believe, will it be a 3v4, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, currently that's how it sits. Power were a little bit split, but it looks like they're regrouping. They do have that off angle just across the way. Nade in over towards Easy from Silence, and he's quietening him down pretty nicely there. Al Haji holding the flank still against Influence Rage, but maybe he needs to worry about the inside, but handles business from Fidan. On the outskirts there, looking to try and keep his team in this fight. And Silas has the challenge down the alleyway, but both of them back off the angle.
There we go, Power pushing up. Petrino cooking a nade. Al-Haji wants to take him out before it can get thrown, but now he has to reposition himself. IG running on fumes, and Al-Haji looking to put him into the grave earlier than they wanted, and that's exactly what will happen. IG struggles will continue.
Power have been stepping up today. A little bit lackluster, well, more than a little bit lackluster in the group stages earlier on in last week's games, but today it looks like Power are here to play. They added on some cheeky chicken dinners. They've been able to now get in and amongst it. It is a return to form for them. Hopefully they can keep this going. Oh, Vision.
Just about to point out Ralph, he was separated from his roster. Falcons have been leaving players, stragglers, to be the scouts for the rest of the trio, whoever's out. First it was Redux in Alaska, we were talking about him, and now this time it's Ralph, who's, well, potentially in no man's land. I say that, but here comes the rest of the roster trying to pick him back up. Getting Ralph back into the fight, being a four-man unit, is definitely going to be the way they want to go. It's a question now of vision and how hard they want to push this engagement.
The forward duo for Falcons have a position in this next circle. Koa and Narvalo looking to try and stanchion them down. Try and keep things under control here. Koa puts pressure. The res was sent over towards Ralph. He's up there in a vehicle now and they can rotate away. Vision actually not opting to crash onto that position. Instead, trying to get ahead of the rotation and split Falcons off from their forward duo.
Now it's a question of Power, and do they want to continue to push the issue? And I guess not at the moment. Vision unintentional, though. Even though they do go up top, they still manage to pass by Falcons, and they are in hot pursuit, shooting some shots at Ralph. The early knock that they got a little bit earlier, now trying to get the finish. Influence Rage also in the area, and they're going full send. AXTMG also off in the line of sight. So this is getting a bit chaotic in the open field, and as they are pretty much dead center of the zone, everybody's going to be collapsing in. And now Jiggle from Ora, Regis, you got Silas also up there. Vision Bolt is pushing in, trying to take everybody on, and he's going to fall a bit flat.
Vision do a mad rotate through everybody in the circle into the middle of an open field. It was a death ball that they just sent in, hoping to all hell that they'd make it, and they just really didn't. It was honestly a pretty terrible position there for Vision to take.
100%.
I think that is probably coming off from the Falcons what was potentially one of the most exciting, fresh, new, dynamic rotations in the tournament so far into what I think I would categorize as the worst rotation I've seen this tournament.
Fully agree, and especially because you get a fresh knock on the Falcons and you don't even fully commit for the finish. You have the man advantage in that moment, and then you decide to pull away, allow Falcons to get the res, and then full send it in the middle of 5 teams? Nah, that just doesn't make sense. And, well, clearly they are struggling today as they just sit at the very bottom with only 2 points. Hopefully they'll start to get it together. A lot of teams on the north, stragglers, trying to come on in. Kinetro, Power, you also have Influence Rage as well. It's going to be pretty tight up towards the northern side of the zone. The first team to get in might be able to play Gatekeeper, but for the time being, everybody's got a lot of space to work with, but that's the thing. There's just a lot of space out in the open, vast area, which is the zone.
Yeah, that hillside to the south edge, that tree-covered hill ridge that currently R8 sits on, that Fireflux is sitting on as well, it can contain maybe one more team, but it's going to start to get squashed. Alpha 7 going to be looking to do just that. Meanwhile, on the northwest side, Influence Rage, they're trying to move, but so are Power. And Power are on form today. With 5 Edens already, they found Lorazin. AXTMG going to look for that flush as well. And the third party's coming through from Falcons, who have managed to all get to the same shack out in the open field.
That's it, same shack, so they're going to be all together. They can focus fire, but they are being gate kept just a little bit by Nogstrom Red Force way off in the distance at the compound. So Power need to, or should be Falcons need to be a little bit careful. For Power's perspective, though, the reason why they were so successful in that little scuffle they had with Influence Rage has spread themselves apart with a 2-2 split. Power are moving together as one unit. They are wolf packing, making it very difficult for any stragglers or any split ups, like for example Influence Rage, maybe even Kinetruck for a moment, to fight against this 4-man unit of Power. And I think I owe their success to, again, them being on the same page, sticking together. It's hard to take on a full force unit, but teams now start to settle down a little bit. Kinetruck is going to go ahead and take over the west, or should be eastern side zone. Power will start to move in. AXTMG still running on fumes, but Henry may be looking to make a solo play against Power once they rotate in. We'll see what he can do.
Has got a forward position to assist with him in Cyrax, but they are very, very split. wet and in the open fields, it is going to be a difficult crossing. Power moving past Fidan, actually moving close towards that forward position, maybe actually over into Influence Rage. Fidan circling here. Easy's going to roll straight on up. Al-Haji sending in a barrel, sent down the lane towards Influence Rage, and Easy goes in first. Does manage to get taken off, but they lose one of their players. Now, can they handle Lil Boy on the inside? Al-Haji take it down. And Influence Rage maybe trying to stop Power dead in their tracks. Fidan on the outside here with the AUG hasn't managed to find it, and Lil Boy goes for the res.
Lil Boy's going for the res. Lil Boy now out. He knows he has to leave this. There's too much utility to use. And to juke the bait and switch to take down the remainder of Power to stay alive. The Falcons are now starting to move in, and I fear this might be the ending of Lil Boy. But the medkit is popped. He's back up, but the nades are rolling in, and Falcons are starting to close the vice grip. But Lil Boy stands on his own 2 feet for a little bit longer to get one more final knock.
Ralph needs to get rezzed here on the inside. They've got a couple of vehicles to play with, but this is not going to be enough of a position. A massive flex back out from the Falcons. They are getting spicy with it. Alpha 7 in the meantime are marauding around and sweeping through the western side. They might try and push in and capitalize on this chaos.
Squash taking a lot of damage. Arena moving in. Squash ready for this. However, Alpha 7 starts to crumble. Mormon gets to clean up on Revo, and well, the rest of the Alpha 7 roster now in shambles. Only one remaining. It's Mafioso. He chose to stay back just a little bit, and well, he's going to have to go at it alone as a solo for anything, right? Going for placement points, maybe potentially trying to get the remaining cleanups. I mean, after all, Arena does have 2 down players.
Falcons got really keen to push up towards that north side, but it means they've got 3 players in position to potentially pick up these points towards Arena. You can see these nades are starting to ring on out, and it's actually from RA who are able to close down Alpha 7 here. But Arena suffering as they try and go for that cross, that northern flex out. The Falcons were all held down towards that number 3 on the minimap there on Narvalo, but now with that flex out, they have those off angles. They now need to rotate back on in. You can see the vehicles they got available to them though, and they should be able to make this crossing.
Yeah, Arena will maybe split the difference between them. Narvalo might be able to put additional pressure with that split. Noxious Red Force still dead center, by the way. They're going to play an big impact as we get later and later into the stages. R8, the team that, just like others, have been struggling quite a bit, opposite of another team that is relatively low in the standing. Jangon Galactica, St. Cloud Smile just up ahead. Mormon starting to roll in from Arena. I would be very, very impressed if Mormon can even pick up one, but with this offing on R8, I don't know. I'm thinking he can at least start to hurt R8 a little bit, which could open up the door for Young Galacticas to potentially get a clean win here.
That's what they'll be looking for here. Gamax trying to push in on the southeast side in the meantime as Fireflux try and hold their own. So far, looks to be in the favor of Fireflux, but Rek and Kai are chiming in across the way from the north side. Bullen now down to 3 confirmed. Gamax playing with just the 1. It may not be enough to take down Fireflux, but damage has been done, and that's going to slow them down. Talking about those holds out to the west side towards Yangon Galacticos, it really does entrench them in this position a little bit longer.
Fireflux being alive a little bit longer, start to push up towards Yangon Galactica. Strax is, well, in the thick of it. Smoke out nades starting to move in. Falcons keeping the pressure up. Just such a sensational day from Team Falcons, just on the edge of taking over first place. AXTMG are now gone, and Falcons have been hugely aggressive, and man, from one team to another, they now push up onto Killotrup. The question is, do they know they're sitting in the weeds?
They have managed to spot that first knock, right? So they know that there is a team there sort of trying to navigate the northern side with a hard north shift. It would be a very viable team to try and take out, but Falcons overcommitting here would expose them to Nonshim Red Force, who have been in this compound since the start of Phase 2, almost Phase 1 in fact. They have been chilling here in big ways, right? One Elin, very quiet, difficult to leave if they had to rotate away, but they have control over so much of this open ground now.
Without a doubt, and not to mention playing Gatekeeper to Fireflux, playing Gatekeeper to Yangon Galacticus, who's going to have to move into them potentially. So I expect them to be at 5 eliminations relatively soon if they could do everything right. They're already in a very healthy spot, just 4 points away from taking over first place. R8 has been tempting this fight opposite of Falcons for quite some time. They've managed to stay up. They, of course, only have 3 members, but you can do a lot of damage with 3. But you mentioned Nonshim Red Force playing the Gatekeepers as well. Damar's going straight into him.
Just going straight on through, trying to see if he can keep an edge, and it looks like they're going to let him play on this wall for now, but the Falcons might have something to say about that. Demand may be exposed. The rest of RA actually going to continue that push. He knows he's getting unchallenged, so they've got that western building under control. An interesting decision for Nongshim Red Force not to hold them out. They're going to give the western side of the compound to R8.
Compound so critical to keep in play, especially if you get blessed by the next zone, which could very well happen. Now, you do have to consider another fight, obviously, right before your eyes. Fireflux as well as Yingon Galacticus, as they might cannibalize each other. As soon as that happens, now they move into Noxious Red Force in the R8 fight. So it's going to be one fight to another, and now you have to prioritize which one is more important for you, to take the third party or go head-to-head. For Fireflux, they can, in fact, wrap around the eastern side and maybe take over where the crate is currently at, or they can decide to push. Right now, they're just kind of seeing what's out there, but with the hovercraft, I think Yingon Galacticus need to take advantage of that. For me, I'm wrapping around. I don't want to full send it. I don't want this third party, but maybe they do.
I mean, it's already smoking. It's really dangerous to be heading on in like that, but Yingon Galacticus full crash onto the northern point, and Nongshim Red Force look to hold. A meat grinder found through the window, but Yingon Galacticus somehow avoid the spinning blades that Nongshim Red Force will send out towards them. Smile is hunting them down, and that's 3 players already falling. Romeo the only casualty. Alright, looking at third party, but not really finding too much. It's over almost before it started. And Fireflux are now in on the east side.
But Doc also hits a great shot onto Solus from Fireflux through the window, and now he can capitalize with the nade. You have, of course, Marth and R8 on the outskirts. Nades galore starting to come through. Doc still standing up with the full challenge on the outskirts. Madcap, though, great shots with the DVS, will push Doc back.
Forces it back into the inside of the building. Yingon Galacticus and R8 are dealing with each other right now, which means that this is a 1v1 on this corner of the compound, and Doc wants to try and conclude that point and play on from there. Yingon Galacticus successful on the first crash, but R8 challenging them now on the angle, playing with 3 as well. Marth retreats back up to the warehouse, and the Falcons have been marching ever closer as time goes on, but finally Narvalo has a knock sent his way, and they'll have to slow it down just for a beat.
Massive fan of R8 disengaging, going to the shed. That's going to give them a great foothold within this chaotic compound area. Meanwhile, for Kinotrope, they are in dire straits. You already got 1 player very weak and down. You've got 2 more who's also relatively weak. You've got, of course, got a team pushing up onto your location. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. The only thing you can do is hit the dirt. For Regnum Karya, you mentioned them underperforming. Well, look at them now. Top 8. Also, all 4 players alive and pushing the issue on the remaining players at Kinotrope.
Silas lands an aid right on their heads there now with 1 player left standing. They are going to try and take down Kinotrope entirely. Ooh, nearly getting that full knock, but Silas has to disengage. He is going to have to fall back to the rest of his team. Only 1 nade left, and you want to be saving that for a little bit later, especially in these open fields. They are so valuable.
Without a doubt, but they also have a drop, so that's going to be big for them as well. Falcons still on the outskirts. R8 starting to tease them a bit with a couple of shots. It's going to be tough to take down R8. Obviously, Falcons keep them at bay. You still got Yingon Galacticus, who's going to be just behind you. And for Fireflux, Madcap, I believe, is down and out, and that will be the end of Fireflux. Regardless, still a great game. In second place, they will continue to stay within top 8. Now, for Nongshim Red Force, 1 player remains. That's going to be Doc, who heroically stayed alive on the 2nd floor building of where he currently is. Now, for Falcons, are they potentially making a push? Are they making a rotation? Well, no, they've got to park the bus because R8 continues to punish them.
They try and get up towards the hay bale, but the cover is in there. Damar has been tearing them to pieces. Chunks of Falcon flying left and right as he's blasting them away here, and it's just unfriendly atmospheres out on the northwestern side. There's more to do. Marth's gonna have a go, have a crack, and now it's just the 1 player. No, it's the no players as Falcons fall flat on their rotate up towards the north.
Which is so disappointing. Falcons were on fire. The way they were pushing teams was excellent, and they didn't want to fully commit for this compound play. They wanted to skirt the edge, but there's just no coverage on the outskirts, right? And unfortunately, a little bit too overexposed, but good on R8 to take advantage of that moment. Now, all eyes on Regnum Karya, who have to push through an open space. Smoke so valuable in the moment. Now it's just a mad dash forward. The question is, can they even make any headway? All right, Yangon Galacticus Doc from Nogsham Red Force is going to be looking straight at him.
Immediately covering this field in smoke. Stage 8 circle closes dead center, and that will put us on the north side of this compound. None of these teams currently have position there, so if Regnum Kaya can get out to the wall successfully, they're going to have a great shot here. But they're going for the wraparound. Damar on the wall looks to try and hold his nerve, but he's already taken down in a second as well. A blast on the sidelines here for R8, and they will be Regnum Kaya with a clean roll up and give themselves a chance for 12 elims and more into this circle. 4 elims remain, could be a 26-point game.
Absolute insanity. Regnum Karya looking so incredibly strong, down to our top 3. Duck from Nogsham Red Force to Solo, who has stayed alive as long as he possibly can, looking to play spoiler to the chances of Regnum Karya, potentially Yangon Galacticos 4 and 3, both respectively alive for those very rosters. Doc, though, give him credit, man, staying alive is just massive in this moment. And the question is, who wants to make the first move? I don't know just yet, but with the way that Regnum Karya just pushed into R8, I've got to favor him.
I'm thinking about Regnum Kaya and their position and thinking perhaps they want to try and take the wall side of this compound. You could potentially be there. It's fairly nadeable, which makes it a little bit dangerous depending on what sort of utility Yangon Galacticos are going to be working with. But having that angle that controls the open courtyard to the north side of this Yangon Galacticos building would be absolutely huge. But for now, Regnum Kaya going to allow themselves a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room, get those healing ticks back up from those stims. They also don't know where this last solo player is, which means that they're probably wary as to where that off angle could be.
I like where Wild is currently at. He's going to be protecting the backside, allowing his teammates to just focus on what's in front of them. You do not want to get flanked, and there is a potential, right? Yangon Galacticus can send a player down to where Wild is currently at. That would basically spell the ending of this fight. I do have to question how annoying Doc is going to be in this moment, though. I think Doc is a solo. I really think he's going to affect the fight once Yangon Galacticus as Regnum Karya start to collapse into each other. Silas is starting to make a move, and he is taking that advanced position, which is great, but Doc knows this, and Doc is going to be opposite of him. Yangon Galacticus moving in. SayCloud and Doc potentially about to square off.
Silas opening the building. I don't think you want to step in there just yet. Doc now getting pressure put on him. Yangon Galacticos know he's there, know that this fight happened earlier, and they will take care of him. So no more annoyances from the side. But Yangon Galacticos have invested time. And the question is, what have Regnum Karya done with it? They've moved out to the north side, up and to that wall position. The nade over towards Silas drops short from Smile, and everybody's cooking them. How much more have they got left in the back pocket? Loxy with a long lob. Doesn't quite connect. And another one sent over towards Silas. Sees the numbers even. 3 versus 3, and Wild falls next.
All right, Regnum Karya now with the 3 versus 3, as you said. SayCloud, Smile, nades are cooking. They're throwing, but are they connecting? Well, not just yet. Loxy though down. Loxy down. Yangon Galacticos managed to make it happen and take the win. Regnum Karya, a heroic effort, a wonderful game, but at the end, that was the ending, man. Well done, dude. I think today the games we have been phenomenal. Regnum Karya, the champion, or excuse me, Yangon Galacticos, the champions with 9 elims, huge.
A brilliant result for them in the end. And Yangon Galacticos, yeah, the 2P to see that one close it down. That position that Doc held in the end, okay, a little bit more aura farming coming through for Yangon Galacticos, hitting them with the boat dance. But you know what? In the end, it felt like Regnum Karya maybe gave a little bit too much leeway to Yangon Galacticos. They played towards the back of the compound for a long time, right? They could have potentially taken control, gone a little bit further forwards. The circle closed a little bit further south than I thought it would, so it could have been a little bit more of a decision maker there, but I think getting rid of Doc was brilliant from Yangon Galacticos. Regnum Karya allowed them to transverse, though, across that compound. They could have done more. 12 elims in a second place, however.
Yeah.
That's going to put you up on, what, 18 points on the match, and that's a great result.
Yeah, without a doubt, especially since we talked about their struggles. So, a game like this, very much needed. Puts them closer to that potential theoretical 70-point threshold. Regnum Karya looking so very strong. There it is. Game number 4 is done. We go to a break. When we come back, Game 5 Miramar coming your way.
guys, proper game में मिलते हैं. Back in.
Reach your impossible. Lenovo Legion.
3 मिनट लगते हैं, 3 मिनट के बाद आते हैं guys. Back.
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tomb Glider, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or send them ablaze with the Inferno Beam set's new upgradable Chain Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025.
Hadi oğlum.
Beraber. Bir canı bunda.
Tamam.
Bekle oğlum, beni bekle, beni bekle. Bekliyorum. Basıyor, can basıyor mu?
Yok, basmıyor.
Nice! Nice oğlum lan!
بس فريق
ورا المكان علي يمين
चलो guys.
افتح
انا صيد نيت
push it for that. Nice. That's one, huh? بالعب ما راح يتجوك يزعلوا.
skin. How could love wear so thin? I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the
नहीं है क्या ये? देखते हैं। बहुत दिन बाद आ गया गैस मैं तो चार्ली पे। लेट्स गो गाइस, बहुत दिनों बाद आ गए मैं तो चार्ली खेलने। हाँ, स्क्रैच वगैरह कितना पड़ रहे थे मेरे पे? स्क्रैच वगैरह 94 स्क्रैप्स। ओह माय गॉड, 94 स्क्रैप्स। चलो हो गया गैस फुल। लेवल रन अभी सब यही बाकी है गैस। चलो स्क्रैच वगैरह ढूंढ के इसके लेवल रन क्लियर करते हैं। मिशन किधर किधर है? एक नंबर है क्या हम लोगों को? किधर किधर मिशन है गाइस? ऑलमोस्ट मिशन क्लियर है हो चुका था मेरा। इधर इधर जाना होगा गाइस। ठीक है, इधर चलते हैं। इधर ही इधर जाएंगे गाइस मिशन के लिए। लेट्स गो मेरे जान। गाइस बहुत दिन हो गया गाइस, चार्ली को नहीं देखा हुआ गाइस। चार्ली कब आएगा? आ गया था चार्ली, तो लगता है चार्ली आ गया था। चार्ली आया क्या गाइस? लगता तो चार्ली आ गया, लेकिन है क्या चार्ली? एक मिनट गाइस। कलर चेंज करते गए। चलो ट्रेन का कलर चेंज। गाइस मेरा ट्रेन स्टार्ट कर रहा है। अच्छा इधर ही था ना मिशन गाइस, चलो इधर कलेक्टर पे ओके गाइस कॉल क्यों कर रहा है मेरे को बार बार? हेलो कौन? गाइस मिशन क्या था मेरा? तेरे पे जाने का था ना, तो मिशन कंप्लीट करना है भाई। गाइस ओके स्ट्रीम को डबल टैप करो, लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो मेरी जान, जल्दी गाइस जल्दी, लेट्स गो। गाइस मेरा मिशन किधर गया बे? हाँ बे मिशन तो मैं छोड़ के आ गया, किधर रहता है बे ये तो? गाइस इधर है क्या मिशन? मेरे को दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है कुछ। कौन सा मिशन है बे इधर? भाई किधर है? गाइस आप लोग ही बताओ गाइस इधर क्या मिशन, कौन सा मिशन दिखाई दे रहा है आप लोगों को? मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है गाइस। चार्लिया क्या गाइस? मैं अपने ट्रेन के पास ही चलता हूँ क्योंकि मेरे को लगता है चार्ली आ गया है। गाइस इधर तो मेरे को कोई मिशन वगैरह दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है, मैं जा रहा हूँ मेरी ट्रेन के पास, ठीक है ना गाइस? जा रहा हूँ मेरे ट्रेन के पास। फाइनली मैं मेरे ट्रेन के पास आ चुका हूँ गाइस, अभी चार्ली को आने दो गाइस। मेरे पे एक स्क्रैच भी नहीं मिला भाई, एक स्क्रैच भी नहीं मिला मेरे को गाइस। लेकिन क्या कोई ना कहे जो कभी स्ट्रीम पे बनाएगा, स्ट्रीम को डबल टैप करो, लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो मेरी जान, जल्दी जल्दी लाइक सब्सक्राइब करो गाइस, जल्दी से जल्दी लाइक सब्सक्राइब करो। आ गया चार्ली, चार्ली आ गया, चार्ली को आता ना तो इसको पास आने के चले और भाई मैं स्टार्टिंग मारना चलाना भाई हाँ भाई हाँ मेरे पे चलाने वाला पावर है भाई मेरे पे गाली को समझ में नहीं आया लेकिन मैं डबल टैप करो लाइक करो सब्सक्राइब करो डबल टैप करो 32 स्क्रैच मेरे पे है अभी 32 स्क्रैच है अभी पीछे कोई आया क्या गाइस इधर जाके मेरे को रास्ता चेंज करके इधर जाना होगा ठीक है इधर जाके मेरे को रास्ता चेंज करना होगा क्लियर कर देगा चलो अरे भाई इस वाले में तो एक बार और गए चल अभी जाएंगे बैक आके गए अभी जाएंगे चलो गाइस ये वाला मिशन और दो या तीन मिशन मेरे को कंप्लीट करने हैं जैसे भी मैं करना है गाइस मेरे को पीछे जाना होगा लेफ्ट को पीछे से होगा स्ट्रेट मेरे को पीछे लेना होगा पीछे लेके लेफ्ट साइड में है मेरे ये वाला देखते हैं चलो ये वाला नहीं गाइस ये वाला देखेंगे चलो तो कभी डबल टैप लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब करो गाइस जल्दी लेट्स गो ये घूम के गाइस मेरे को इधर से इधर जाना होगा फिर मेरे को करना होगा ये मिशन ये क्या है डैडी लेफ्ट लेट होम एंड नीड्स यू टू ब्रिंग ए बैक एंड द पार्ट विल बी ओके गाइस चलो देखते हैं यहाँ पे जाना होगा हम लोगों गाइस जो कभी स्ट्रीम पे है गाइस स्ट्रीम को लो वैसे इसी से डबल टैप करो करना है भाई। बेवड़ा पीछे आ गया भाई, पीछे आ गया, पीछे आना है, क्या बकवास करना है भाई तो। कोई ना गाइस, ये वाला देखते हैं गाइस, चलो ये वाला देखते हैं गाइस। इसमें तो वो बेवड़ा है ना, लेके लेके जाना ही नहीं है गाइस। वाला देखते हैं गाइस, चलो लेट्स गो। ठीक है, आप लोग लाइक वाइक करो यार, सब्सक्राइब करो यार। थैंक यू फॉर योर सब्सक्राइबिंग गाइस, लेट्स गो। चलो कितना दूर है गाइस, कितना दूर है, मिल ही गया, ऑलमोस्ट मिल ही गया गाइस। करना क्या रहेगा, इट विल सपोर्टेड विद करना क्या है गाइस इधर, तो मेरे को तो वही मालूम नहीं है करना क्या है मेरे को। चलो गाइस पहले जाके वो स्क्रैच वगैरह ले लेते हैं गाइस, चलो वही गोल्डन बॉक्स से स्क्रैच वगैरह ले लेते हैं गाइस, फिर देखा जाएगा गाइस क्या होगा क्या नहीं। पहले स्क्रैच लेते हैं गाइस, 1 2 3 4 5 6 स्क्रैच मेरे को मिल चुका है। अभी पहले इधर चलते हैं गाइस, पहले इधर चलते हैं और देखते हैं इधर क्या मिलता है मेरे को। है ही नहीं वे, कुछ है ही नहीं गाइस इधर। इधर अंदर का दरवाजा किधर है, दरवाजा नहीं है क्या? अच्छा इधर है दरवाजा। भाई इधर का मिशन क्या है भाई, वही तो मालूम नहीं मेरे को, इधर का मिशन क्या है। क्या भाई, किसको देख रहा है तू ऐसे ऐसे, किसको देख रहा है? इधर करना क्या है तेरे को? सर लाना है मेरे को, ऐसा लग रहा है कुछ लाना है। का स्केच तो मिल रहा है मेरे को, स्केच मिल रहा है। गाइस मैं तो गाइस मैं किधर आ गया बे, नदी के किनारे आ गया बे मैं गाइस, घूमते घूमते। लेकिन जाना है इधर का मिशन भी करना है, लेकिन मेरे को मिशन समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या इधर का। कोई तो बताओ गाइस, किसको आता है तो बताओ, इधर करना क्या होता है भाई, वही तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मेरे को। इधर का मिशन दिखा रहा है लेकिन करना क्या होता है इधर। चलो थोड़ा घूम के आते, घूम के आते हैं गाइस। लेकिन अगर वो स्पाइडर और एक चार्ली आ गया तो खत्म है। कैश वगैरह भी मेरे को मिल गया है, लेकिन इधर का मिशन मेरे को दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है गाइस। और एक स्ट्रेस मिल गया हम लोग को गाइस, और एक स्ट्रेस मिल गया। करना क्या है इधर गाइस, ये तो बताओ मेरे को कोई, करना क्या है इधर। कुछ तो करना है इधर, कुछ तो करना है, लेकिन करना क्या है। मैं तो अलग ही जगह पहुंच गया गाइस। वायलेट कलर का ट्रेन इधर तो जाने से गाइस मेरे को मिलेगा पानी, क्योंकि इधर है उधर है जंगल। तो इधर मेरे का मिशन क्या है? इधर से कुछ होगा सर, इधर ही कुछ होगा सर, ऐसा लगता है गाइस इधर ही कुछ होगा सर। लेकिन नहीं है गाइस, इधर इधर भी कुछ नहीं है, इधर तो लाइट वगैरह ही है गाइस। अरे भाई इसका मिशन किसी को आता है तो कैसे बताओ यार मेरे को, करना क्या होता है गाइस, मेरे को तो वही समझ में नहीं आ रहा है करना क्या है। दिखा तो रहा है गाइस इधर मिशन है क्या? चलो एक बार खोल के देखते हैं क्या। रेज द 8 फ्री सपोर्ट्स विद एक्सक्लूसिव। दोनों गाइस कोई अलग सा मिशन देखे क्या गाइस? ये तो मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा, कोई अलग सा मिशन देखते गाइस। चलो बाद में करेंगे ये गाइस, बाद में यूट्यूब मार के करेंगे, क्योंकि ये मिशन मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है करना क्या है और मिशन किधर है। और गाइस इधर है, ठीक है ये वाला करते चलो, क्लाउड क्लेम्बर ये वाला करते। कितना हो गया मेरे पे 30 स्क्रैच हो गया, 30 स्क्रैच। स्क्रैच तो हो गया है। ये क्या है? अच्छा भाई ये यहाँ पे है क्या? इधर से जाएंगे चलो बस, इधर से जाएंगे, ये वाला चेंज करके इधर से जाएंगे चलो। Guys, let's go. इधर है क्या गाइस, मेरे को देखना है इधर क्या है। क्रॉस में है क्या, मेरे को वो देखना है गाइस, क्रॉस में है क्या। क्रॉस वाला किधर गया गाइस, क्रॉस वाला किधर गया? मैं उधर से आ गया। चलो क्रॉस वाला मिल गया गाइस, क्रॉस में ये है, क्रॉस में ये देखो, ये क्या है गाइस, ये क्या लगता है क्या गाइस ये? कैसे मैं जाने से गायब हो रहा है भाई, भूत है क्या गाइस? भाई है क्या ये गाइस? ये है क्या? ये तो गाइस मैं पीछे जाने से आ रहा है, लेकिन मैं पास में जाने से नहीं आ रहा है। ये है क्या गाइस? लेकिन छोड़ो गाइस, मेरे को भी करना है मिशन फिलहाल गाइस। लेट्स गो गाइस, जो कभी स्ट्रीम बैक गाइस, स्ट्रीम को ऐसे लो और डबल टैप करके ऊपर वाला व्हाइट कलर का बटन क्लिक करो गाइस। मेरे को करना है मिशन फिलहाल करना है। किधर गया मेरा? चलो गाइस को छोड़ो, ये तो भूत है गाइस, ये तो भूत है। मैं पास में जाने से नहीं होता गाइस, देखो आप लोग ही देखो इसको, मैं पास में क्या गायब हो गया, ये देखो गायब हो गया। चलो उसमें चलते हैं गाइस, लेट्स गो मेरी जान। जो भी स्ट्रीम बैक है स्ट्रीम को डबल टैप करो, लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो। लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब तो बनता है गाइस, जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी। ये तो लॉक है, इधर इधर ही तो था ना मेरा मिशन गाइस, इधर ही तो था शायद। हाँ गाइस इधर। अच्छा डैमेज मिल रहा है मेरे को। स्क्रैच मिल गया गाइस, एक स्क्रैच मिल गया, लेट्स गो। स्क्रैच मिल गया मेरे को। कहाँ गया मैं? मिशन किधर है मेरा गाइस? मेरा मिशन किधर है? उधर बंदा था है। अच्छा ये वाला बंदा है गाइस, ये वाला बंदा है। हाँ भाई बता बता, करना क्या है मेरी जान, ये तो बता। रिले में क्या करूँ? अभी तो कुछ नहीं, करना क्या था इसके लिए गाइस? तो ऊपर जाते क्या गाइस? ऊपर जाने का रास्ता ही नहीं है भाई, मैं ऊपर कैसे जाऊँ गाइस? ऊपर जाने का रास्ता ही नहीं है। पीछे गिर गया गाइस मैं, लेकिन ऊपर तो जाना है मैं। अगर गाइस चार्ली आ गया तो मैं टाइट खुश। अगर चार्ली आ गया तो मैं खत्म। चार्ली नहीं आने का तो सब ठीक है, लेकिन चार्ली आ गया तो मैं खत्म। इधर से एक ही रास्ता है गाइस, इधर से ऊपर गया फिर इधर गया, इधर तो जा नहीं सकते। क्या पीछे तो फिर जाओ किधर में गए? तो एक ही रास्ता है, लेकिन इधर जाने के लिए क्या करना होगा? भाई साहब, भाई हेल देख मेरा। वो गाइस अभी हम लोग को लूटना वूटना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि मेरा हिल नहीं है। वो और मत गिर, और मत गिर गाइस, और मत गिर। तो फिर से गिर गया तो मैं खत्म, फिर से गिर गया तो मैं खत्म। इधर से जाना होगा शायद, तो लॉक है। टांग ये तो लॉक है, लॉक नहीं जाना पड़ेगा। हाँ शायद लॉक से जाना पड़ेगा। फिर से ही जाना पड़ेगा मेरे को गाइस, फिर से ही जाना पड़ेगा गाइस। आप लोग लाइक बैक क्यों नहीं करते गाइस? आप लोग लाइक बैक क्यों नहीं करते? लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करो यार। कोई नहीं स्क्रैच मिल गया गाइस। हाँ भाई इधर गया, इधर से मैं इधर गया, इधर से मैं क्या कहते हैं, इधर से कूद गया। आ गया आ गया, ये लोलू आ गया गाइस, ये लोलू आ गया फिर से गाइस। मेरे को लगता है कि वो वाला फोन निकल गया ना। किधर गए? पीछे क्या भाई? फाइनली गाइस पहुंच गया, लेकिन इधर मिलता क्या? पहुंच तो गया था, लेकिन इधर मिलता क्या है? भाई इसका मिशन क्या है भाई? मेरे को ये वाला मिशन भी नहीं आ रहा है गाइस। लोरू मिशन है क्या गाइस? मेरे को मिशन ही नहीं आ रहा है भाई, ये करना करता कैसे है? और भाई मेरा ट्रेन किधर है? मेरा ट्रेन है किधर? गाइस मेरे को स्क्रैच के अलावा कुछ और तो मिले भाई, स्क्रैच ही मिल रहा है गाइस। क्या स्टेप भी रखने की जगह नहीं है क्या गाइस? छी वे छी। बता भाई तेरे लिए करना क्या है भाई, बता यार। नॉनसेंस। इधर भी तो कुछ नहीं है, जाना जाना किधर है गैस? लेट्स गो गैस। हमको एक चीज़ है वो ढूंढना पड़ेगा, उसको क्या बोलते हैं मेरे को मालूम नहीं, लेकिन हम लोग को ढूंढना पड़ेगा। इधर ही कहीं पे होगा गैस, मैं बता रहा हूँ इधर ही कहीं पे होगा। चलो गैस हम ऊपर से जाके एक काम करते, इधर जाके इधर आते हैं, ठीक है? चलो चलो गैस हम लोग इधर जाके उधर आते हैं, चलो। दरवाजा किधर गया? दरवाजा किधर गया? दरवाजा ये लॉक नहीं होता है गाइस, ऐसा है क्या? चोर घुसेगा अबे इसके घर पे? ये लॉक नहीं होता है, पे मुझे जाना पड़ेगा नीचे शायद। तो खुलेगा नहीं गाइस, इसको खोलने के लिए गाइस हमको चाहिए चाबी। चाबी तो इधर शायद नहीं मिलेगा गाइस, है कि नहीं गाइस? लाइक वाइक करो यार, लाइक और सब्सक्राइब करो यार गाइस। लाइक ही नहीं हो रहा है, सब्सक्राइब भी नहीं हो रहा है गाइस। आप लोग कर क्या रहे हो? लाइक और सब्सक्राइब तो ठोको भाई। ये उधर भी जा नहीं सकते वे बाल लोरू। कहाँ फंस गया गाइस मैं, कहाँ फंस गया? इधर भी नहीं जा सकते, उधर भी नहीं जा सकते। ऐसे दम बम करके ऊपर उठ सकते हैं क्या गाइस? आ गया क्या ये लोडू? आ गया क्या बराबर? टालिया गया क्या? लग तो रहा है क्या चार्ली आ गया? चार्ली आया तो मैं रूम में गया, सीधा ही मैं रूम में आया क्या चार्ली? ओ भाई चार्ली आ गया क्या गाइस? ओ भाई गाइस मेरे पास तो ट्रेन ही नहीं है, अभी मैं करूँ तो करूँ क्या गाइस? मेरे पास तो ट्रेन ही नहीं है भाई, अभी मैं करूँ तो करूँ क्या गाइस? भाई ये वाला डेंजर म्यूजिक मत दे यार। चार्ली मेरा आसपास ही है गाइस, चार्ली मेरा आसपास ही है। साउंड तो आ रहा है लेकिन चार्ली है किधर? साउंड आ रहा है लेकिन चार्ली है किधर? चार्ली है किधर गाइस? मेरी ट्रेन मेरे पे नहीं है, मेरे हथियार ही मेरे पे नहीं है, मैं चार्ली आके मार के आया क्या चार्ली का? वो देखो चार्ली उधर है। ये देखो चार्ली को देखो गाइस, मेरे को नहीं देखा शायद। हेलो चार्ली बेबी, किधर हो आप? चार्ली ने मेरे को नहीं देखा शायद। अगर देखा तो मैं खत्म, क्योंकि मेरे पास भी हथियार ही नहीं है, मेरा ट्रेन ही मेरे पास नहीं है। चलो गाइस, छोड़ो छोड़ो ताली को, छोड़ो ताली क्या इधर। चार्ली भाई मेरे को ऊपर जाना है, लेकिन जाओ कैसे मैं ऊपर? ऊपर जाने का रास्ता ही मेरे को नहीं मिल रहा है गाइस। ओ भाई काटिया 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 क्या गाइस, काटिया क्या? गाइस आरटी मेरे फुल्ली नीचे है गाइस, अभी मैं करूँ क्या गाइस? इधर ही घूम रहा है, इधर ही घूम रहा है, चार्ली इधर ही घूम रहा है। भाई साहब अभी मैं निकल ही नहीं सकता हूँ गाइस। इसका फाइल है गाइस, हम लोग को फाइल ढूंढना है, लेकिन है किधर ये तो नहीं है गाइस। इसका एक फाइल घूम गया है, हम लोग को उसका फाइल ढूंढना है। फाइल ढूंढने के लिए जाना पड़ेगा ऊपर, लेकिन जाए कैसे ऊपर गाइस? सबसे तो अलग चीज ये है, हम लोग जाए कैसे ऊपर? इधर तक तो जा सकते, लेकिन इधर कैसे जाए बे? इधर भी जा नहीं सकते गाइस, रास्ता ही नहीं है बे घर के ऊपर जाने का। अभी इधर जाए कैसे ब्रो? ये तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा, इधर जाए कैसे? भाई क्या घर बनाए बे? सीढ़ी नहीं है, क्या घर बनाए ये लोग? लोरू घर बनाया थोड़ा। इसका फाइल हम लोगों को मिलेगा किधर गया? इसका फाइल मिलेगा किधर? चलो इसका फाइल ढूंढते हैं। इसका एक फाइल गुम गया है, वो फाइल ढूंढ के हम लोग को इसको देना है गाइस। इसका फाइल ढूंढ के देने से गाइस ये हम लोग को स्ट्रेस भी देगा और मिशन फिलअप करने के लिए एक चीज भी देगा, लेकिन हम लोग ढूंढे किधर इसका फाइल? यही कहीं पे है गाइस, इसका फाइल तो यही कहीं पे है, लेकिन मिले क्या कहाँ हमको? एक सेकंड गाइस, आप लोगों को दिखा रहा हूँ। एक सेकंड गाइस, मैं एक चीज दिख रहा था। एक सेकंड गाइस को होल्ड करो। हमको नहीं चाहिए, हमको चाहिए इसका फाइल ब्रो, स्क्रैच नहीं चाहिए। पक 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 पक। ये दोनों घुसा गया गाइस।
hashtag 50, 0 kill bro.
Why this game doesn't go to them?
0 kill with hashtag 50.
चलो गाइस, चलो 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 इसको छोड़ते हैं, इसको छोड़ते हैं गाइस। चलो चलो चलो, मेरा ट्रेन किधर गया, मेरा ट्रेन किधर गया गाइस, मेरा ट्रेन किधर गया, मेरा ट्रेन है इधर। लेट्स चलो, लेट्स गो गाइस, मेरा ट्रेन है उधर। अभी माता भाई, अभी अगर चार्ली आया, मेरे पास ट्रेन भी नहीं है, ओपन रास्ते पे मैं ले जब भी मैं घर पे था ये लोरू तभी नहीं आया, जब मैं घर से निकला तभी ये लोरू आ के मेरे पे गए। अभी रुको इसके लिए, रुको गाइस, इसको आने तो मैं कुछ खाना वाना के लिए कुछ लेके आता हूँ गाइस। 2 मिनट में कुछ खाने के लिए मैं लेके आता हूँ, इसको रुकने दो ऐसे ही। कितने गाइस मेरे पे स्क्रैप तो 33 है अभी, वो 20 स्क्रैप से हो जाएगा गाइस। और इसका लेवल 10 करने से मेरा 10 भी हो जाएगा ये गाइस। भाई 10 भाई थोड़ा तो रुक, इधर स्क्रैप मिला क्या मेरे को? 2 3 4 5 6 स्क्रैप मिल चुका है गाइस, 6 स्क्रैप मिल चुका है। और गाइस लाइक भाई क्या के लिए, सब्सक्राइब क्या के लिए गाइस? चाहिए पे वो चाहिए, कब आएगा वो? गाइस आएगा कब? आगे भाई लाइक पे करो बेटा, लाइक पे करो, आजा भाई भाई आगे तो अब हर जगह डाली में गए। खुद ब्रेक लग गया, ट्रेन लोरू अभी मेरे को मार रहा था अभी, खुद ब्रेक लगा दिया ट्रेन में। बाल बाल बच्चे हम अभी तो गया कैसे, तो गया चार्ली अभी गया, लेकिन पीछे आएगा चार्ली, और मेरे पे कैसे नहीं होगा मेरे को। चलो चलो डबल टैप करो गाइस, लाइक हो जाएगा, डबल टैप यार, डबल टैप लाइक तो चलो गाइस, चल लो गाइस, इधर थोड़ा स्ट्रेस करके भी मिलेगा हम लोग को। चलो अच्छा इधर मैं आ चुका हूँ गाइस, इधर आ चुका हूँ, इधर नहीं मिलेगा, इधर तो नहीं मिलने ही वाला नहीं है गाइस, क्योंकि मेरे को मालूम है इधर का स्क्रैच वगैरह मैं सब कलेक्ट कर चुका हूँ। अभी तक मैं इधर का स्क्रैच सब कलेक्ट कर चुका हूँ। लेट्स गो मेरे जान। हाँ उस साइड में मिलते उस साइड में मिल सकते हैं, चलो 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 गाइस, उस साइड में, हाँ इस साइड में मिल सकते हैं गाइस, आ जाओ आजा बेबी गर्ल। तो मिल सकता है वो भाई, इधर तो गए फुल्ली में नदी में आ गया भाई गाइस, इधर तो मैं नदी में आ गया। भाई लाइट वगैरह जल रहा है, कितना अच्छा लग रहा है देखने में। चलो ट्रेन को लेके जाते हैं गाइस, ट्रेन को लेके जाते हैं उधर, ट्रेन को लेके चलते हैं उधर। चलो ब्रो चलो लेट्स गो मैं आता हूँ भाई तू भी रुक मैं भी आता हूँ गाइस लेट्स गो
Had a chance to take the win, falling just short to RA this time. Maybe one of our first teams to be eliminated, depending on how this fight ends up unfolding. Noxious Red Force, a very aggressive roster who started to improve their performance on day 2 group play, looking strong. Obviously, in today's competition, now top 3. Sadan hugging the corner. Noxious Red Force starting to tighten the vice grip. It's not going to be an easy fight for either which roster. I do love the high ground over Tizzy. Power cannot disengage. With Doc starting to fall, do we start to see Noxious Red Force unfurling?
Vinny will be there for the refrag. That smoke on the door frame is doing a lot of work for Noxious Red Force. He's playing around it with the shotgun, just going on those gut reactions there. Hitting those flick shots, all important. Has done so much for them. Easy, drops down, out and around the side, and he clocks one on the swivel. A really nice heads-up drop down there for Easy. More to go, though, and Vinny on the inside, trying to keep things together for Noxious Red Force, but Power trying to turn it around, and the pump action again for Vinny, dispensing a hell of large amount of damage for the roster of Noxious Red Force, and they keep it going. Power done and dusted.
Oh, and that's tough, isn't it? Going into tomorrow's competition, Power. Man, they're going to feel good naturally. Great performance when it comes to the top of the standings. Currently first place, 56, near that 70-point theoretical threshold for top 8. They're very healthy. But going from what should have been a guaranteed win, in my opinion, in map number 5 to being first out in map 6, they're going to have to recover short-term memory going into day 2's the final day for the survival stage. The zone gets wildly down towards the south, and therefore everybody has to full speed ahead straight into the next stage.
I'm looking at Regnum Kaya, I'm looking at Fireflux holding down towards the these south areas on this map. You've got Fireflux who could control the south edge of Saint Martin, get up into those hills and try and maintain the control. Everybody else on the road. Alpha 7 leading the charge. They leave almost immediately. Rightly so. They've heard that fight across the way. They know Nongshim Red Force are still a little bit battered and bruised. Can't take that fight. So you get out of there fast. You're not going to be as challenged here. Across the road they go, and they're looking a lot safer now, and they are into Regnum Kaya territory.
The 7 dead center, like you said. Let's see what happens here as Nongshim Red Force very close to him. Regnum Karya also starting to tempt fate. Alpha 7 pushes up. This is a must-win fight. Alpha 7 needs to stay alive. It is critical. They break into top 8 by the end of the day, and some great utility has already been thrown. Revo is starting to take over the high ground, pushing where Wild is currently at, just down below. Loxy, a solo at multiple times, who has managed to stand his ground this time, has a full force around him. It's only going to make him a better player. Squash, pre-fires, no connections, and the dance will continue.
Alpha 7 rock up. No casualties on the approach so far. A little bit of damage then towards Mafioso, towards Revo, but they are now in the straight up 4v4. As Regnum Kaya holding the ground, a lot of damage sent over to Mafioso and a 1-for-1 trade on the off angle there. Silas finds a second as well, looks to put Alpha 7 back down into the dark, and it's all up to Revo now as they're finding the shots for Regnum Kaya. This hold is monumental. Toshpik is traded off, but one is not enough, and Alpha 7 end their day in the bottom half of the lobby.
That is so tough. Regnum Karya putting the final nail in the coffin for Alpha 7's performance in day 1 survival stage. They will officially finish outside of top 8. Tomorrow has to go so much better if they want even a chance to go to the finals and defend their title from last year. Now we focus our attention over towards Team Falcons, a roster that was underperforming throughout the group play, but overperforming when it comes to the survival stage, looking to finish in first.
Alpha 7 really good at Miramar, by the way. 1 point, no points. It's kind of crap, really, isn't it?
It is.
It's not what you want to see for Alpha 7. And
my concern, though, John, is like they go in Americas and they underperform. They do. Let me take it back. Stage 1 of PMSL Americas, they've overperformed, beating the second place team by over more than half, more than double if I'm not mistaken. Sure. Then they go into stage 2. Start to slow down a little bit, second place. Now, still impressive, right? But we're talking Alpha 7 here in Americas where they should be dominating. And then they go to grand finals and they start off very, very slow. Let's not forget, they only qualified for this stage, for PMWC in the final game. And it's because Wolves dropped the ball going to the Death Shack and basically not even choosing to play the final game. Of course, they did, but just too slow. And well, they didn't have a game plan. Alpha 7 barely skates in to top 3, finishing bottom 3, right, for their region, which they should have dominated. And now they're in the survival stage. The pressure is on, and now they're not even top 8 going into the second day. I'm starting to get a little bit worried.
They're losing pace as well with the rest of the pack moving ahead of them towards that bubble. It's going to be difficult to make it. Nongshim Red Force on the northern side here. We saw that engagement earlier that they had with Power. They were able to win it, but the speed at which they could leave is not going to be fast enough. They've now taken heavy casualties, and that crossing is going to be nearly impossible. With 1 player remaining, Doxy will try and get something done, and we'll see how much further he can go. Regnum Kaya holding on to their position with 3 players alive is good. I'm looking at Kinotrope as well on that southwest side with a nice spread out across a lot of ground, but the Falcons are going to look to challenge the south point. They could potentially find a weakness.
And I think the weakness is going to be Blur. Blur off on his own, and this could be Falcon's opportunity to kind of bully him out. Granted, you do have Ozan who's going to be able to fire down low, and he did a great job, by the way, in the last game, right? Ozan was that off angle, just peppering shots at the enemy starting to roll in. But for Falcons, they are a punishing roster. They see Blur by himself, you better believe they're going to push him.
Yangon Galacticos on the western side, currently taking heavy punishment from Aura to their north, who do still have to rotate themselves, and Vision to their north as well, who do not. And they are going to be able to hold down in this compound. You can see Yangon Galacticos further up and ahead on the south edge of this one, on the exit from Monte Nuevo. Yangon Galacticos suffering. Aura now looking to mount up, who've been dishing out some punishment, but wanting to try and break towards the top side here. In 9th place, Aura looking to move away from Alpha 7 towards E-Arena. But E-Arena themselves going to be crashing on towards this Regnum Kaya position. We've seen them defend one. Can they do it again?
Karia looking to take down 2 teams in the same game. And E-Arena, though, got to give them faith because they've done such a great job holding hardcover POI, but it's chaos across the board. Loxy bottom right, of course, Joker, who's going to be bottom left, and then the overhead up top is it's just a mad scramble for positioning, and I believe Regnum Karia gives respect to E-Arena. They're dipping.
I think this is sensible. You wait for those pushes, you should control these door frames, and you try and get some value out of it, but you know you're not winning really, realistically, a lot of the time in that engagement. It would take a lot of confidence to stick around in that spot, and the fact that they had those vehicles ready to go says to me this was their plan all along, right? South, try and stop some teams getting in. If we don't get any knocks, fold back to where we held before.
But I think they come back. I want this hardcover POI, if I'm honest, because it's going to be such a power play, kind of like what Power was in just the last Miramar that we ended up witnessing. Granted, second place, but you notice once they got the hardcover POI in center zone, they were a force to be reckoned with, and they finished with over double-digit eliminations. So for Regnum Karia, I don't think this is going to be the end of them versus E-Arena.
Falcons starting to push in. They have been quietly finding their way closer and closer to these circles, and now they've managed to find a team trailing their way in, and they will drag them back down. Take one of their players out. Yangon Galacticos down to 2, but Falcons are outside of the circle, and they have danger sent to them from Kinotrope on the southeast, and Yangon Galacticos, even with 2, are still deadly.
That's exactly it. Kinotrope is going to be the X factor in this fight, as far as I'm concerned. You also have Vision, who might play a bit of an impact, who now start to move through. But in the meantime, Yangon Galacticos feeling the pressure. Team Falcons noticing where Vision is currently at. For Falcons, in my opinion, I'm sending it into the zone. I'm trying to get as much distance as possible once these fights have concluded, because I'm not too healthy. I'm not too happy with Yangon Galacticos being around us, Vision also being in the area, and Kinotrope also being up top. Falcons could be in trouble before they know it.
Getting a little bit more healthy here. They'll need every advantage they can get. Pushing in the southwest side is treacherous. The terrain nice and bobbly for you as you try and roll on forwards. SayCloud has spotted Redox. Redox unaware of the position, but doesn't quite go down. Will have time now to heal this one up, and SayCloud's position is known. He'll have to reposition and get away from this location before the Falcons descend, before Vision send out their way, but I don't imagine that Vision are going to be super keen to send south at this stage. They're going to be more interested in heading east to regroup. Meanwhile, is it going to be, it's Aura on the northern side, and IG having a tough time of it.
IG, team that's been struggling quite a bit towards the bottom end of the standings, only outdoing that damage. We noticed IG get overly aggressive at times, disrupting fights. This time they look to take down Aura, and it's not going to be easy. Meanwhile, we transfer over to R8 and Influence Rage, and there's bodies all over the ground.
Every health bar's red on my screen right now. What is going on? It looks like Influence Rage are going to be able to heal up a little bit more effectively than R8 in this location. In fact, it's only Damar who is left standing for them, and he is split from this fight. He's trying to take those shots down and might actually have an impact here, as 3 players from Influence Rage are currently on the deck. And Damar could try and challenge this. He's not really got too much to lose, has to get out of here anyway. A front flip on the buggy. He's dismounted from it, but he stays alive. We'll get it back into control, but all this time, Influence Rage have been healing, have been regrouping. Hang on a minute. No, they haven't.
He took down Lowboy. He took down Lowboy from a distance. Now Damar knows I've got to capitalize off this. He pushes straight in. He's a solo. He's going for gold, but can he pull off a miracle play? Well, at least so far, yes, he can. He re-rotates over to potentially take down Lowboy, but now he's going to take down Lorzen, who pushes over the top. Damar looking to make a heroic play, but gets silenced finally from a distance. He's taken down as Fireflux says enough is enough.
During all of that as well, Kinotrope sent a big node over towards the Falcons that has torn them in half. They are suffering now, and it looks like they're being handled nicely out on the western side. Redox the last to stand for them, and he will fall in short order. A well-placed nade stops Falcons in their tracks, going down with minimal points on this match, but their day is pretty successful so far. They have managed to turn up where they haven't before, and will be happy moving into day 2.
It's not the biggest surprise, though. Falcons were so embroiled in this fight against Yangon working on Galacticos. Meanwhile, Vision was also laying down shots down range, and Kinotrope just had too much of a power position, too much vision on Falcons once they started to push it, and they had to start pushing in to go into the next zone. So Falcons get eaten alive, and it will be Kinotrope who have a potential to have a tremendous game, which again would be very valuable. They're knocking on the door of passing up the previous year champs of Alpha 7. Top 8 is a possibility. They need a lot of points to get there, but finishing the final game of day number 1 of survival stage is so impactful for Kinotrope. They have a chance to do it.
This is also a big chance for Regnum Karya to put themselves back in and amongst the top dogs of this lobby. Making sure that they can end over 40 points would be fantastic. Getting up towards 50 would be brilliant. It will take it still quite a long way to go for them. They need a 26-point match to be able to get up towards that 60-point mark. It's doable. There's still plenty of points left going. We'll see what they can find here on the northern side. They've got a solid spot.
Fireflux, so spread out, mind you. You've got Scarface all the way in the north, Soulless way down to the south, along with Matcap and Catch are going to be the closest together, but even them are quite separated. And Scarface is feeling the pressure as Loxy takes him down. John, do you think that spread is a bit too much from Fireflux's perspective?
I think that you could definitely argue that, yes. I think it's fair enough to say that it was way too bold for Fireflux there to keep that one going. Perhaps they didn't have the rotational capacity, perhaps they'd run out of vehicles, not entirely too sure, but it looks like they're going to try and re-establish this split. I mean, there's no one really challenging them here. At this point, everyone's pushing in south or north or west, so they are trying to just cover this ground, but I think leaving someone on the far side of the on the far side of the road may be a bridge too far.
Yeah, it's a bit weird for me. Granted, gaining insight, maybe scouting the horizons, but your scouts get taken down, and now it's time to get back together. Soulless looks to be joining where Catch is currently at. Madcap will also join into the mix. Maybe they were trying to establish individual zones, so when the stages did start to collapse, they had real estate already there and the information needed in order to set up quite nicely to gatekeep, but it's just a bit too much. But with 3 members still remaining, the chance is still there. Now for Doc, well, his chances are gone, and well, that's going to be the end of Red Force. They get taken out, and their final game of the day is over with. Now, for Hora Esports, though, all eyes on them. 4 strong, dead end of the zone. They can make a deep run.
Yeah, with the hills that they have to play around here, they can definitely get quite close to the center. We're going to be seeing the next circle in about 5 seconds as well, so it's going to dictate the pace. Vision, they've been slinking their way down this western edge and towards Kinotrope, who now find themselves in a little bit of a ditch. A huge nade comes through from Noir, finding 2, and immediately they can descend on this one. They should be at the very least. There's only 1 player close by to try and handle this one. Ozzy-san at a distance. I don't think he's going to be able to say anything about this. I don't think he has a chance to chime in if Vision just pour over the top.
Yeah, Plur, I mean, maybe, just maybe, he can make something happen. He throws a nade, but it's a bit too short. Plur is going to be the last-ditch effort for Kinotrope to try and be the hero to shut down Team Vision, but I don't know if he's going to have what it takes in order to do so. But he does get the off angle, but the shots are going to be missed. He's going to be snipped out and taken down, and Team Vision, who was opposite of Kinotrope for the longest time, puts almost the final nail in the coffin, I should say. Ozzy-san is gone, and now it's survival mode for him.
Where has this Team Vision been up until now, right? These guys, off that last Miramar, they got a healthy elim count, and now they're back up to 5 with a western point position. They have a chance to push towards E-Arena, sure. It is a difficult one, a lot of open, quite flat terrain as well, but they do have a chance here to put another big number game on the cards. They started this Miramar set really down on their luck, but they have started to pull their socks up.
Zan goes into a hot and ready low boy as well as Influence Rage. Doesn't have the help needed. Influence Rage start to encompass where Ozzy-san is currently at, and he won't even get a shot off, unfortunately. He will be eliminated, and therefore Kinotrope are gone from a very dominant, strong position. Pressure was on for Kinotrope. They get 3 eliminations. I'm thinking they're going to have a deep run, maybe even surpass the performance of Alpha 7, but they fall short as Team Vision take them down in conjunction with Influence Rage.
I'm looking at Vision right now. I think they have the most difficult approach here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see them sweep around to the north side. It looks like they're trying to consider that as well. Over towards Honor. Move out into that open ground that sits there with the circle. having the compound in the southwest quadrant, it's not necessarily going to be ending up there, so it could potentially be an advantage to be on the outside in this scenario.
Could be. Regnum Karya disengaging from the arena earlier, right? You talked about, you said that's a favorable play. I think maybe there's going to be another contest for the hardcover POI, but no, Regnum Karya being where they are, I actually favor them. I think they're in a wonderful spot. E-Arena now starts to inch their way closer. Everybody knowing this compound is going to be so impactful for the future stages, and everybody wants a piece of it.
The difficulty for E-Arena here is that the positions that they hold have so much open ground around them inside that compound, right? We saw that side shot from Team Vision's perspective. There's just this open wasteland of nothing that sits between them and Regnum Karya on that northern side of the compound. To make their way north would be really, really tricky. It would be a better use of their time to play around where Mormon is playing, right? That east side of the compound, try and stretch up a little bit closer to the edge, have access to the hills, and potentially take a couple of shots out towards Aura, towards Influence Rage, towards Fireflux's remaining players.
Vision wants it. Vision wants to push in. Regnum Karya gets a piece of the building in the next stage. E-Arena going to be quite healthy where they currently at. Need Sakura as well as Joker to join into the mix for Vision. Well, they've got to make a decision, and honestly, going south, you go into E-Arena, you go north, you got Regnum Karya who's going to be looking directly at you. You said it was going to be difficult for Vision. Well, now the job just got even more difficult.
It is really, really tough stuff here. 6 teams now remain with 21 players alive. And it looks like Marcelo's going to get a little bit closer now to Regnum Karya. Draw some shots out. Get a little bit of info.
Yep.
Wait for E-Arena to try and challenge as well on a third-party off angle, but they aren't spotting it.
Have no choice. Vision, they've got the man advantage, but they've got to break into the cover. It's not going to be easy, but it's their only go at it. They focus on the Loxy first.
Right.
Loxy, though, does a good job taking down a couple. In fact, he's going to get the full finish onto Alone. Marcelo off to the right will also be taken down. Volt, the last chance, the last dance for Team Vision to make anything happen in the final game of day number 1 of the survival stage will end in a wonderful hold. But here comes the third party, E-Arena. They're out for blood, and they want to finish off Regnum Karya.
They've heard this fight popping off. This is the only team that was holding them from moving north, and Regnum Karya's sightlines get pushed off the angles. They don't have time to heal because they've got more players descending upon them. Turney K, nade in hand, Wild desperately popping that first aid. The Molotov on high keeps Loxy back off the window, and Turney K plays forwards, and he opens the door, potentially to his demise, but Silas not going to go down just yet. Turney K hopping up, trying to challenge on the high ground, and might be able to do it, but slips low, and in the meantime, E-Arena have lost a player on the off angle. Fireflux are moving in. Influence Rage, Aura as well, trying to find their way through and closer to this fight.
Tremendous fight, a big fight indeed. The question is, who's going to end up ahead? Regnum Karya, E-Arena, Fireflux with catch. Will he have any impact? Well, with the reset, E-Arena, once again, a 4-man unit who can push straight into Regnum Karya, but Silas wants to hold his ground, and he's doing exactly that. With the choke point of the stairway, he knows if anyone pushes up, they're good for dead. Silas needs to hit the shots needed, but no one is going for the challenge just yet. Regnum Karya still has a little bit of distance. The fight will stagnate once again.
Silas, the big dog with 5 elims, sat at the top of the performance charts for Regnum Karya here in their final moments of this hold. Alpha 7 couldn't do it. Vision couldn't do it. E-Arena taking a crack at it. Regnum Karya may be too tall of a mountain to climb here as they keep things on lock and key. These guys are champions in their own right, and that is on full display here.
Without a doubt, now they've got to push forward. They take a couple of pop shots on the Aura, keep their heads down, so they have free, clear ground to push up. Now, you do got to consider Fireflux catch, who's going to have the off angle on Regnum Karya once they do push out. But for Aura, all eyes on Influence Rage up ahead. Influence Rage, this is one of their deepest runs we have seen today, one of their best performances yet. I'm hoping they start to crawl their way up into the top 8 position. But Aura, they've got other plans, and Lil Boy is down.
Let's get a little bit more done. Loxy falls as well on an off angle there, and it looks like Otter are starting to extend their influence. It was Ketch who was able to catch them on the approach there. They're potentially going to be resable, but the blue zone pushing in, they just don't have the time. Dead center of the circle right now sits in Otter territory, and it's going to be up to Regnum Karya to try and dispatch them from that location. Regnum Karya committing? No, they don't find the res.
Oh, Wild, he's got the forward position. He's going to be the closest to Hora, but he doesn't understand what he's getting into. You've got Influence Rage who's been fighting against Hora. Wild's going for the off angle. Sleepy has taken a lot of damage. Sky's going to be grenade. Silence is going in. The tip of the spear looking to turn the tides. Regnum Karya is full committed. They know they have to, but Wild, he's the only one who's going to be standing currently. Orta is going for gold, but Influence Rage, I've got to favor them. I think they got this. Orta, they are running on fumes, and Influence Rage is tightening the vice grip.
Law with a nade cooking now. Over the top needs to find the shots, but Lorison goes down to the back line, and no answer is found with a nade. Sky looking to try and take up the mantle of the peak, but again, he is rebuffed. It's all up to Jiggle now for Orta to keep them linchpinned into this match, but Ketch is there. He finds it, and that's Law as well, taking the shots out wide. Nobody's going out of this desert unscathed now, and Law can't find the first, looks for the second challenge, and he just dips behind it. Stays alive for a moment longer, a breath allowed for the time being.
Sleepy's the one to watch out for. Catch as well. Look, Fireflux can still very well win this with a solo, and it could in fact happen. Sleepy's going to take down Law. He's going to be gone. No Fears once again dropped. Diego's going to be pushing up onto Orta. The nade's going to be cooking. Orta's actually out, and now it comes down to a 1v1. It's going to be Catch versus Diego.
Catch, the madman from Fireflux. They've been playing on drips and drabs for so long, and they managed to find it right in the end. What a crazy turnaround for Fireflux. They play in the shadow of Team Vision and Regnum Karya on the compound. They play Split, they play Snake, and they bite.
Fireflux, a dominating performance, the solo playing spoiler, and you gotta respect Catch in that moment. We knew he was in a power spot, watching Regnum Karya start to rotate over after they win 2 dominating fights, but at the end of the day, it was Catch overlooking his competition, overlooking the battlefield, the battleground, and knowing he had what it takes in order to take over the victory. Fireflux, a tremendous win, and a night and day difference from their group play performance to where they currently stand, just behind Power Esports.
What a rotational set at the end there. I mean, Fireflux, by all rights, should not have won that one. And I think that, for me, Regnum Karya put on a real classy display in that match. That hold on the north side, that regroup up to the north edge as well. That is a team of discipline. So for Regnum Karya, they close down strong. The top 8 here looking pretty healthy. We'll see if they can maintain that spot, because Alpha 7, they're going to be trying to batter down the door. We're going to head back over to the desk. Kalaris, what do you guys make of that one?
An unreal ending with chaos abound all over the place, but somehow Fireflux gets themselves the victory here, despite Influence Rage and Ura being able to position themselves as best they can. Joining me, everybody is joining me. We got Seven, we got Neptura. They're hyped, they are ready to go here for the survival stage, and also Max Man's here as well.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. I was so impressed by how they were reacting to that game, Max.
Yeah, they were very hyped about it.
Yes.
I was not looking at them. I was looking at Hora. I was looking at the side of Influence. And I was also looking at Regnum Karya, but no, stay next to the fence, being really silent. Works out every once in a while, and for here, Fireflux to actually get themselves a good old win. Good to see it. Yes.
Sometimes it happens, Seven.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. It finally happened to actually, what is that? 2 wins for them now?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Good performance out of them. 22 points total, 2 eliminations. Really super top heavy, I feel like, for this match. Influence Rage too, 13 points. I was impressed. It was good to see Hora being able to actually perform here. I felt like so far today they were really quiet. This at least will put them closer up to the top 8 to contend tomorrow to make it to the grand finals.
I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see who can actually try and beat them coming into tomorrow, right? Because we have seen, as we said earlier, not many teams just go for it. We haven't seen another alter ego. We haven't seen that domination from any one team. So everything is very close. So this match in particular has been super interesting points-wise to see how that leaderboard has been shaken up.
Yeah, it's a lot more even going around the board here for the survival stage. You just don't have one big team dominating everyone. Even though Power had a really good day too, looking at this one. Oh, Alpha 7. Oh,
I knew you were going to do it. I knew it. Go on. Point game, Neptura. era. We need to see Alpha 7 have a massive day tomorrow, which we know they're capable of doing, but will it happen?
I wish.
You wish?
I wish.
I wish.
I wish.
I wish.
I really wish.
I really wish it happens tomorrow, because otherwise we're not going to see much from them in the finals, like, at all.
No.
So, what do you do in just another 6 games? They're going to have to do an alter ego all over again if they want to actually make the top 8. And the way they're playing now, it's not happening.
ठीक है गाइस, बाद में मिलता है गाइस। अभी तो स्ट्रीम एंड करते हैं गाइस, बाद में मिलते हैं गाइस। बीजीएमआई में डायरेक्ट रात को आएंगे गाइस। बीजीएमआई में गाइस आज आना, फुल बुम बम करेंगे गाइस। लेट्स गो, रात को आएंगे गाइस बीजीएमआई में, फुल मस्ती गाइस, बुम बम और वॉट। बीजीएमआई में आ जाना गाइस, लेट्स गो। आज अभी तो थोड़ा देर बाद आएंगे गाइस, 2 घंटे बाद मैं फिर से आऊँगा गाइस स्ट्रीम में गाइस। आ जाना फिर से सपोर्ट करने के लिए गाइस, लेट्स गो।